So next question is from Stickman Sam. He says, David, as a former atheist, what's your advice for Christians on how to share the gospel with atheists?
Step number one, and I don't think lots of Christians do this, is trying to figure out what level of skepticism this person has, right? Like some people are just they haven't heard a good argument for theism, but if you gave them one, they would think about it and consider it and decide whether it's a good argument. And others, they've adopted a methodology that is actually impervious to evidence.
Right.
Like Dawkins recently admitted this.
Yeah.
He was being interviewed, and he's asking what would qualify as evidence for the existence of God. And he said, years ago I would have said, God writing his name in the sky or something like this, or a miracle or something like this. But I've come to realize that there's nothing that God could do that I couldn't just say aliens did it.
Right.
If God arranged the stars to say something specifically to us, I could say, well, maybe they're powerful enough aliens who have done this. And so Christians need to understand the level of skepticism of the person that they're dealing with. Because if you're talking to a person who's saying, give me evidence, but they have a methodology that doesn't allow any evidence, you're just wasting your time there until you deal with that issue. So lots of times, if it's an atheist, and I think he might be the variety of atheists who has constructed a methodology that doesn't allow any kind of evidence.
I just did a recent video on that, by the way.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I normally start. I normally start. They say, give me evidence for the existence of God, and I go, okay, first, give me evidence that you exist, because I don't want to be talking to a non-existent person here. And then they say, it's usually typing, right? They're sending me messages, and then they type back, what do you mean? Obviously I exist because I'm sending you a message. So I type back and I go, well, yeah, there's a message, but I mean, it could be monkeys mindlessly pounding on a keyboard. Obviously, if DNA can form on its own, some monkeys can type this sort of message, especially with all these misspellings and so on. And so, I type a message back like that, and if we keep going back and forth and they keep giving me reasons to believe that they exist, and I dismiss them, and then eventually they'll say something like, well, I'll come to your city and I'll show myself to you. I'm going, how will I know I'm not dreaming? How will I know I'm not in the Matrix? How will I know that I'm not a brain in a vat that some mad scientist is making me think that you're appearing to me? How can I know? In other words, I'm becoming a hyper skeptic, but applying it to them to show them, hey, this is what you do with God. This is what you do when I give an argument for God. So why am I going to give you an argument for the existence of God when all you're going to do is play skeptic? And I can do that too. And if I play skeptic like you do, you can't even prove to me that you exist.
That's good.
Right? So this is the point there is to show them that if that's their methodology, they've got a flawed methodology. Now, if at the end of all that they say, no, I'm not like that. I'm not like that, and it becomes clear in the discussion that they're not like that, then I would move forward. But if it becomes clear in the conversation that they are these hyper skeptical people, I'm not gonna move beyond the phase of you've got a problem in your methodology. And why in the world would you be asking me for evidence when you've made it completely irrelevant? Like I don't walk around going, show me a square circle. Why? Because I don't even believe that a square circle is possible. So I'm not going to be going around asking people for evidence of it. Right? But these guys, they've made their worldview immune to evidence that conflicts with their worldview, and then they ask for evidence against it. And so it's like, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's good. And I noticed that in your debates too. I noticed a lot of times when you debate atheists, I've noticed you always press them for a criteria that they would say or something that would qualify for evidence for God's existence.